Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, back after 2 weeks. Fuck you both. And joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Oh, Dylan, you're back. We didn't even notice. You know, didn't come up at all. But I'm excited to be here.
No, you know what? I'll say here, Kieran mentioned before I.
Hello, everyone. I don't know why Dylan's coming in with this aggression, but we'll find out.
Because what I think it is that it's like a test. Because usually when you talk shit when I'm not on the show, it's right at the start. And it's like, oh, maybe Dylan only listens to the start of the episodes when he's not here to make sure it's published or something and doesn't listen to the rest. And then I get all the way to the end of the episode and the shit talking starts. I'm like, no, I fucking listen. Don't you worry.
We didn't do anything the first episode.
You did not do anything the first episode, no. But the second episode.
That was just tied into a story, so.
It's true. I was in Adelaide last weekend. That's why I wasn't here. I was visiting the House of Mario. I wasn't really, but that's all I thought about when I was in Adelaide.
Drove past.
But I drove past. I don't know where Drew lives, but it was South Australia, so I just presume I flew over it at some point. There it is. That's the House of Mario.
Not as bad as I thought.
Yeah. There was no Mario outside. Let's get into. There's not much to talk about this week. Well, there is kind of. There's more negative news, of which I managed to do a good job of evading a couple.
What is your opinion on all the negative news? So you with Kieran that physical media is dead and we shall be accept our grim futures?
Well, let's get into that with this. What I put in the show notes is simply Kieran responds. So an absolute assortment of comments have been left across Instagram and TikTok. I'm just looking at
44 last time I looked.
Yeah. Absolutely going ham on Kieran. And now some people kept complaining in the comments that no one was responding. And I'm like, that's just because I run the Instagram. Like, I don't even know if you know how to have access to the Instagram account. So I just left it. At some page, I pinned a comment that simply says, "Hello, everybody. We appreciate your comments on this video. Kieran, the one talking, doesn't run this page, but we'll get him to respond on some of your comments on this week's coming episode of Arcade Couch. Plugga, plugga, plugga."
Look, I was, because I even said, I was going to start replying as myself and just be like, but no, Dylan's like, we'll make content out of it. We'll milk it for all it's got. And I was like, okay.
That is the smart way to do things, I think, personally. So I'm just going to read some of
There's a really long one that I need to read an excerpt out of because I'll be honest. So when I got pointed out that these were happening, I was at work and I started laughing at some of them. And then that turned into my entire office reading through these comments and all also laughing at how ridiculous it all was.
Yeah.
Yes.
My funniest thing, this is just typical internet behavior, which is that even if you disagree with Kieran's opinion on stuff, people get so upset about this stuff.
So upset. But even then, it's so funny because you can tell
as if Kieran's the one breaking the news.
Yeah.
Or even, the thing that's funny is, so many of them, you can clearly tell, their only interaction with my opinion on this was only through that short snippet of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, there were some of them that keep bringing up secondhand, what about secondhand? What about secondhand? And I'm like, we already said this in the podcast, and I'll say it again now, it's part of this. These companies don't give a fuck about secondhand. They don't want you selling their shit and not making money off it.
Yeah, they don't care. No, they never have. The secondhand market, as far as video game companies go, has always been it's a loss of revenue at the end of the day. It's always been a plus for the consumer, secondhand market, the ability to lend games and stuff. But at the end of the day, places like EB Games have, they sell a game once, they make $5 profit probably off it, but that sort of thing. I know there's not a lot of upmarking them, and then when someone of them trades it back in pre-owned, they buy it for $30, they resell it for $50. They're straight away making 20 more. They're making 4 or 5 times the amount of it off pre-owned market. So, and that's always been the case. So it's never been good for the video game companies.
No.
let's just tackle it. So I'm just looking at the first one. This person says Sony is setting up a monopoly in which they are in sole control of every aspect of distribution. This is bad for consumers and developers. Sony is saving money, can dictate terms with devs, and can charge customers whatever they want to lure no competition. This is no world in which this is a good move for anyone but Sony. Correct. Like, whether or not you disagree, like if you're upset as a consumer, which is your right, you can be upset as a consumer, that's fine. But to like be like, this is bad for everyone but Sony and they're doing it for them. Yeah, you are correct. I don't know what else to tell you, buddy. Like,
but also, if
like,
you're a company, isn't that what you want to do though?
Like this is the thing. This is the crux of it that I don't think I've brought this up before, is you can't behest a company for wanting to make money because that is their purpose. Like no matter the be all and end all of their everyday life, of their everyday dealings, is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be wrong and stupid to think companies won't do that.
Yes. In a world where everyone wants corporate companies to be pro-consumer, I know that's a fairy tale dream, but the reality is that's not it. And as many nice faces that you may get appearing as the embodiment of the corporate companies that are in front of you, like your Phil Spencers or whoever, RIP, that appear in front of Sean Layden or whatever. End of the day, there are people behind these people that are solely invested in the bottom line and dollar of said company, you know, and that's where these decisions trickle down.
It's like this whole stuff. We'll probably touch it. Like the whole stuff with Asha Sharma is like, yeah, cool. She came in, she did the thing where it's like, oh, she has a gamer tag. She's one of us. She plays games, and I feel like there's a lot of capital G gamers then backed off on being annoyed with her. And then you go, no. Her job was always to come in and to sack a bunch of people and make a bunch of jobs redundant. That was always her job. Like, there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about that. Like, her job was to come in and to gut Xbox and make it sustainable and reasonable.
Yeah. And based on everything PlayStation and Xbox has done recently, and across the industry, it's very clear that currently gaming is not sustainable. You don't choose to lay off your employees just because you're greedy. You know, there's like something systemically wrong with why this industry continues to lay off people month after month after month. You know,
and there's been something systemically wrong with the industry for years.
Yes.
At this point, you couldn't even really. You'd have to go back many years to pinpoint the first true signs, I think, of the world in which we exist now, where games cost too much money to make, take too long to make, and the return on them is not proving to be enough.
No.
As much as the video game industry is considered this however many billions of dollars industry, full stop, it's still not. Currently, it's like in a bubble state.
Yeah, we're on the back of, say, even for instance, most recent thing, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. We'll talk about it a bit later, but it is positive. Everybody is positive about it. It's a great remake. People are loving it. That team's getting laid off because they've got nothing else, or they don't want to use them for anything else after this.
Here's one of my favorite comments. They quote you and say, "You can't have it, your cake, and eat it too." Yes, I can. If I purchase a cake, it's to eat it, not look at it.
It's like, oh no, you took that literally. That's
It's like kill two birds with one stone. That's actually literally impossible. The stone wouldn't pass through the bird.
I've got to read one because one descends into utter madness.
Oh, while you find it, just quickly, there's also another one here that I always find where to go. Oh, fuck, what? I've lost it. They basically... Oh, fuck, where is it? Some guy like says about it not responding. It's like this guy's then like, it's because they don't want to get chewed out. They'll post things like this and not respond because I don't want to take criticism, because most people will talk big and then back off because they don't want to. They can't back up with actual said. And I would back up when I said for 24 hours, no problem. Every time I respond, I'll respond. Ready to go to war.
Where is it? Where is it?
Fight.
No, don't say my favorite one's been deleted.
Surely not.
No, surely not. Where is it?
Maybe. People have issues.
Oh, maybe it's a hidden one.
Oh yeah, there's
actually, I will say people were trying to use it as an insult, but I had a very good laugh about the "Leave the $1 Million Company alone."
Oh, the people posting the
images. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was fucking hilarious, and I was a big fan. I actually don't know where it's gone. That actually really disappoints me.
I think this is what a fucking L take. This is 100% corporate greed, and you're defending them. Go kick rocks instead of spewing such ignorant bullshit on Ryan. Quote: "We did it to ourselves. Boo fucking who." We don't even begin to fathom what this is about. Haven't even scratched the surface of corporate greed.
Oh no! I think they hid it. Aww. That makes me sad because there was somebody that was going into. I should have screenshotted it. I thought it would still be here. Because there was somebody who started going to, because I made the whole meme about, books and books still being a thing and yada 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 whatever. They're like, you're physical right now recording this, and then you become digital, but you still need to be physical to record the digital thing. Or like, clothes are physical. What are you gonna do? Get digital clothes? And I'm like, what? What is going on? Like, why?
I'd get digital sleep if I could.
Oh god, that'd be great if I could guarantee myself like healthy sleep.
Microtransaction of sleep.
Fuck yeah, 100%. No, it's just silly. Like, I think it's so funny. As I said, like, it is. As a whole, like, it is just these people are reacting to this little snippet. They have it. And to be honest, I think if they'd listened to the whole podcast, they'd be saying much worse things. Because I full on flamed capital G gamers like these people and full on went in on them halfway through that podcast. So, yeah, like, it's just like, many of their points on it just doesn't make sense. They're saying like, oh, the research is wrong, or I needed to do research, or Sony doesn't have the analytics for digitals, and that it's all based on DLCs and yada yada. It's like, just they have about as much information as I do, except for they're drinking the Kool-Aid really badly on what they think is an important market, which I understand the maintain and like the historical need to keep and maintain ownership of games. Cool, understand that, but it's just the bottom line. Like, physical games have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we got to go, my opinion, my 2 cents on it, since I didn't get to say it yet, I think it's terrible as someone who likes physical media. Look behind me while watching clip of wall of Blu-rays guy. I obviously like owning things physical. I have vinyl, I've stuff like that. And I do
got
think
physical media behind him as well. So
do I. I have Blu-rays and there's like a couple random PlayStation 4 games, and like,
there you go.
Like, I have a copy of Control behind me. That's how much I like Control.
Like, go.
I know.
And I do think it's bad for. I think the other 2 bad things are just the video game conservation. Obviously, is the thing you're sort of talking about. That's an element in industry that people have always worried about and people have been working on. However, it's also a sort of repetitive nature within the entertainment / arts industry, because art, I mean like physical, illustrated art, years and years and years ago, and then it took people to start museums to conservate that and try and hold these things so they can be protected. And then when film started, it took many years for people to start some sort of film conservation, to be like, maybe we should try and restore these. I mean, there are still fucking episodes of Doctor Who you can't watch because they were lost to the ether and weren't actually conserved. So every art form goes through some struggle to form and maintain how it wants to keep track of it as a an art, as part of humanity, as part of our history. Video games is yet to figure out how it wants to go about that. And I mean, we're not here to come up magically with the answer to that. So, but I mean, my thing is, I do think it's bad, but at the same time can accept and totally understand why it's happening. And I think that's the problem with most of these people's reaction, at least from what I've seen in the last week since the news story broke, is that everyone who's really shitty about it is just incapable of understanding a world in which, why, and how we end up here. I mean, the other thing is, you just look at obviously PC game. When's the last time anyone's brought a gaming PC with a CD slot? They don't fucking exist. Everyone has digital libraries on their PCs, and because it wasn't announced and wasn't made a like, hey guys, Gabe Newell or fucking someone that speaks for PC gamers, I don't know, was like, hey guys, we're ending PC, we're only making like 6 disc copies of games a year. It's like Total War and some of a random shit that you can find in eBay Games and JB Hi-Fi. Other than that, it's all digital now. Because it was never announced, it just slowly...
It just happened.
It just happened. Yep.
And no one got to argue and question about it. But because gaming consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, has always been much more of a physical medium, and pair that with the fact that this is announced, put out like a, in a thing, it's now caused much larger ruckus than I think if it was just gradually sort of just happened and this just disappeared. But yeah, so it's like, I think it's bad. I don't like it. However, I fully understand why they're doing it, because they're a corporation and wants to make money. Now, is it bad that corporations want to make money? Not necessarily. Do big corporations make too much money? Yes. But at the end of the day, they can do whatever they want. What are you going to do about it? That's the... What? There's another... I saw a news story this week that's like 170,000 people signed a petition to keep physical discs. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Mr. fucking 6 people sitting in a boardroom office are like, man, 170,000 people have signed this petition to keep it. We're going to really change back our minds. Well, I don't care what...
Another analyst came out and said like that Sony is probably going to be willing to take the hit for like people boycotting.
Yeah, they would have. They're not dumb enough.
Plus subscriptions.
Yeah, I do not believe for a second that before this decision was, no one just randomly woke up one morning and Freddie PlayStation was like, you know what, today's the day. Like a bunch of people would have gone through 6+ months, a year of more of meetings and conversations around this, and then someone would have been like, all right, what's the negative? What could happen? They would have been prepared for the fact that people would get upset about this. And no one is suddenly like, oh my God, guys, I didn't expect it would upset people. Like, they would have expected it. So
I would almost guess that 80% of the people that commented on our post and were all angry with me are all going to purchase GTA 6.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all going to purchase it digitally. And they're all going to, give the support of... Give the support to that game, which is the first true foray for console gamers into the digital only future.
I would fathom that in 5 years' time, all those people will still be playing PlayStation games, either on the PS5 or on the next console.
I mean, a lot of people that are super pissed off about this are just going to find something else in the next month to get super pissed off about and move on to that. So
they'll forget.
They'll forget. And in the scheme of things to get upset about within the video game industry, I do think that you're much better getting annoyed at the layoffs and the overall state of the industry that leads to the layoffs than the fact that physical discs are being removed in a world where if you had your head screwed on even half an inch straight, you knew this was coming, if not next year, but within the next couple of years. It was always
the writing was on the wall since there was a digital only version of the PS5.
Since there was a fucking Vita that attempted to go digital only. Sony has been wanting to go this way for over 10 years ago. And they tested the waters then and it didn't work then. And they were like, this is not the time. And then they walked, that console did not go well. But yeah, as soon as they were like, here's a digital only PlayStation, everyone went, oh, that's just an option. That's not a sign of anything to come.
Yeah, no. And then I saw some people complaining that like Sony has been trying to train us to buy digital games so they can get rid of physical games. And yeah, that's how you make change. You like wean people off the thing that you don't want them to have anymore. You get,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Any other comments on the digital nonsense?
I don't know. Just take a chill pill. The time and effort you took into typing out those comments, which, you know what, greatly appreciate. It was great for our algorithm. It got our video out to more people and was really good analytically for us.
Yep.
You know, take the time playing a video game you like on a physical media. You know, go buy some physical media. The other thing is, it's these same people. Actually, this is the one. All right, leave it off. The one that gets me is seeing videos where people go, "Oh, I love this great game. That's a great like I've watched it for Black Flag. I've watched it this week on YouTube videos. Oh, it's a great $40 game, so I'm going to wait until there's a sale for it to be $40." And then I'm like, motherfuckers, you're the reason all these studios are closing. Is because you have put a dollar value on what you think a game is worth, and which is in your right, but then it's like you can't then be pissed off when the games you love stop getting made because nobody's buying them until there's a sale.
I've made the exact same comments about TV series on what do you want to watch, because for good or bad, Netflix and all these streaming places, they only care about like the first 2 weeks numbers when a show debuts to say if it's popular and worth going for. So then people go, oh, I'll watch that when it's all finished airing, or I'll watch that catch up later or whatever. And then people watch the show 9 months after it's out, or wait for the last episode to come out, and then the show's cancelled, and they go, why the fuck didn't that get greenlit for a second season? Well, you weren't there to support it. It's like, well, that's stupid. Why does they only care about the first 2 week numbers? I'm like, I'm not here to argue about whether it's stupid or not. I'm just saying the fact is the system is the system.
You're doing the metrics.
Yeah.
It's been established.
You know, it's the same as I heard someone in my old job complain once about how they don't make comedies anymore. He's like, man, Dylan, they don't put comedies in the cinema anymore. Why don't they make any more comedies? And I went, all right, I'll test you on this. Would you go to the cinema to watch a comedy? Well, no, I'd wait for it to come to Netflix. That's why they don't make them anymore.
Okay.
Answer the question for you. So, like, you know.
But they should give us the option, you know?
Hey?
They should give us the option to see it in the cinema.
Yeah. But it's just the end of the day. Like, if you're not spending money on something, I mean, if you love the look of an indie game, or any game, I guess, but in particular an indie game, and it can't, or like, what's a really good example? We're about to talk about Xbox stuff. So it's like, if you love the look of South of Midnight and you thought that was fantastic and you couldn't wait to play it, and then you don't have Xbox Game Pass, so you waited for the game to go on sale until you brought it. Okay, you did nothing for that game. By the time you waited around to buy that, the Xbox was like, this game's a flop. You know?
Do you think there's any chance they change their mind? There's no chance any backlash will turn them?
No. They do not care. Because most people, if they lose, it's what do you call it? The leaky bucket effect, right? In any and all corporate world, people, especially when it comes to brand loyalty and stuff like that, it's like you've got the amount of people that are leaking out of this leaky bucket at the moment because they're pissed off about this news and they're dribbling away. And at the same time, you've got people coming in. Like, it's constantly, you know. So you gotta always be doing something to excite people to come back into the PlayStation ecosystem to make up for the people that are leaking out the bottom. And at the moment, that's going to be a cross between all the GTA 6 marketing and making PlayStation the place to play Grand Theft Auto, and that's going to make up for more than enough of the people who potentially drop off because they're outraged about this news. I do not think it's going to make much of a dent. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been thinking like maybe they could just do more limited type runs at the end of, like, once the game is complete. You know, you just put out like a set number of physical editions, but video game doesn't quite work the same way that like movies do, because most people will buy a movie that they've already seen and liked. You know, so whereas a game, people have to experience it first. So.
Well, it's even funnier. Right? There's some people that in the comment section for that short said that they would buy it digitally, but then almost like to make themselves feel better, they would then go back and buy the physical after they bought it digital. And I'm like, did you actually do that? Like, are you actually? Because sure, if you actually care enough about a game, awesome, you're doing what could be seen as the right thing, but it's already too late.
I think it's the same as the copyright argument, right? I'll pirate the movie. I don't want to go watch it in cinema. I'll pirate the movie. It's available streaming, but I swear I'll buy it on Blu-ray once it comes out.
Yeah,
it's already too late.
Yeah, it's same sort of people try to talk themselves into
justifying their actions.
Their actions. Yeah.
I mean, I saw some people, obviously, again, Black Flag, upset about the microtransactions. Like, I bought the deluxe edition, and then they put out like $76 worth of microtransactions. This is why I pirate everything, because they won't give me everything for $40. Fucking crazy.
I mean, to be honest, that news story also confused me because people are like, well, gamers aren't playing new Assassin's Creed because the single player microtransactions. I'm like, there's been single player microtransactions in
100%
since for like Unity? The last 15 years. Yeah.
Literally playing it pops up at some point. You go, oh, gross. Close it and then just ignore it and keep playing the game.
You literally have to go out of your way to find them, like to go to the menu to purchase them.
Like it's not like it's not like we are your fault. Like it's not like it's a multiplayer game. So who gives a fuck? You're a single player game. You're playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. If somebody feels like they want to spend an extra fucking $15 to $20 to get an extra fucking an extra cool sword that's going to do a little bit more damage, why not? Fuck it, let them do it. You know,
it's their money. I don't fucking whatever.
But it's pay to win.
If it was an independent studio, we'd be going, you know what? Yeah, you earned that bag. You get it. You know. So it's like, fuck. Just it is what it is. Ubisoft's always been like this. They've always put weird battle passes or weird collectibles in their games to try and earn like a weird currency to go into their like vault or whatever. Like. But you don't have to interact with it.
It's like you spend $30 to fully unveil the map. Oh, it's ruining the game. I have to do it properly. Okay, if someone wants to ruin the game, a single player game that has no effect on you, and they want to spend their $30 on it, why do we care?
Yeah,
literally, why does anyone care? Let's read from Eurogamer for the Microsoft news. So, the news is finally out. Microsoft is laying off thousands of people from its Xbox division and losing 4 game studios from its roster. Those studios are Double Fine, Compulsion Games, Ninja Fury, and Undead Labs, with Arcane Leon in talks for being removed. Importantly, those studios aren't necessarily closing. Keeper and Psychonics developer Double Fine and South of Midnight developer Compulsion will return to management and transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and runway for next games. Asher Sharma said in the email to staff. Hellblade developer Ninja Theory and State of Decay developer Undead Labs, meanwhile, have entered terms to join new ownership and funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. Deathloop and Dishonored developer Arcane is being required consultation with its Works Council to review potential strategic options. Microsoft is also laying off people and shifting investments to focus on higher priority projects across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Microsoft Game Studios, Mojang, and King. None of our first-party publicly announced games or projects have been cancelled by these reductions, said Sharma. As a result of the restructuring, a total of 3,200 jobs will be lost, with 1,600 people losing their jobs today and a further 1,600 losing their jobs over the course of fin year 2027, which ends on the 30th of June 2027. In a post, Sharma said, I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they love this industry and love Xbox. Today's decision do not reflect the talent or dedication. End quote. Sharma described the Xbox business today as, quote unquote, not healthy, and said it was operating at margins 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. She and Xbox entered this generation with smaller installed base and higher cost structure, whatever that means. And the plan for beating this was betting on Game Pass, multi-platform, and broader portfolio of content. Sharma continued, while those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened. We added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox, end quote. Specifically in the topic of the company's studio portfolio, Sharma said there was aggressive expansion in 2018, but Xbox now finds itself competing with large publishers, small independent studios, and more games than ever before. Quote, it is neither impossible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We've also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar we invested. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision, end quote. The layoffs will also remove what sounds like a thick layer of middle management at Xbox. Quote, today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation, even as our player base and playtime have declined. That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it hard to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify, end quote. Xbox is also installing a chief operating officer for the first time, apparently to oversee everything, and that person will be Helen Chiang, who has spent nearly 20 years working at Xbox on Xbox Live a long time ago, and more recently Minecraft. Okay. Kieran, what is your reaction to everything that's happened at Xbox?
It sucks. It really fucking sucks. I don't know. I'd like to. Let's be honest. Like Xbox wasn't going to continue the way it was going. It wasn't healthy. This is across the board. You know, like Sony's laid off people recently. I reckon because of the Japanese economics changes that are happening, Nintendo are eventually going to lay off a bunch of people. Like it's just the minute budgets are too big, and we do in fact need to regress a little bit as a medium at the moment. Like we do need to go back to how it was, you know. You look back at GTA, fucking the most pivotal games of some of our like kind of the growth of gaming from GTA 3 to Vice City to San Andreas. That happened in the space of years. And they reused textures and they reused models and they had a lot less technology to work with. We need to start going back to that in some ways, you know? Like, we need to get out of this thing where it's taken 13 years to get a new installment of GTA. We need to get out of this way of it taking so long to get individual games. You know, we're out of the world of franchises where it's like you'd get Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and we'd see progression there in amongst itself. But this is the brutal reality of what Xbox is having to do. I think the way they've carried it out is bad, considering, you know, the amount of stuff they announced or they've talked about, and then that's been affected. You know, the team at The Elder Scrolls Online, like, had to come out and say, hey, the roadmap we've just put out, we're going to have to change that because we no longer have the people or the ability to be able to do this. Same with, you know, announcements from Bethesda that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be offline, is going to be delayed even more now. On top of that, we've got Obsidian, who said that their team had no interest in making a Fallout game, and now pretty much making a Fallout game with a gun to their head.
Mm-hmm. Make the fucking thing that'll make the money.
Yeah, exactly. 100% it is. Like, give us the fucking money. Like make this item. Like, make this.
Gamers hating you. Make the thing. Give them the member berries.
Yeah, like, it is 100%. Like, it is what they're doing now is what makes money if it doesn't make money. You know, we had back in the day where Phil Spencer said, hey, we've brought on games like developers like Compulsion, and said, hey, we don't need you to make a AAA title. We need you to go win us some awards. But now we're in 2026 and all of a sudden it's, nah, bitches, we need to make fucking money. Make the money, earn the money. If you're not there to do either of those things, get the fuck out and go find somebody else to do your thing for. And yeah, fucking sucks.
Ash?
Yeah, I mean, pretty bad. Like, obviously, all these people losing their jobs, but I think obviously it could be worse. I think the fact that all these studios are actually going to, live another day, I think, is a tiny.
There's still another like 1,600 jobs to be cut as well. In the next 12 months.
Yeah. They've confirmed however many, and there's still like something hovering over people's heads. I would be, if you've got a game about to come out, I would be concerned, about how long you'll be working, at Xbox. But yeah, I think the fact that those studios are going to continue to be running, Double Fine is still going to be a thing with its catalog. That is a positive because they could have easily just shut those down. So they would have been within their rights, I guess. But that they're going to live on is, the silver lining in this whole story.
Yeah, it's just a testament to how fucked Xbox was, and the industry, I guess, but also just a testament to how terrible of a state Xbox was left in. And ultimately, it is that weird pairing, double-sided coin, where it is disgustingly horrible news to read that 3,200 people are going to lose their jobs, but also just be like, I don't like it's I don't know. I sort of take it as Asha Sharma being a good CEO. At the end of the day, it sounds terrible to sort of say it'd be like 3,200 people losing their jobs, but it sounds like she's doing what's unfortunately necessary to keep Xbox alive.
And it's what these type of CEOs have to come in and do. It is the like, she doesn't know these people, she isn't directly connected to these people. It's easier for her to cut these people and carry on with her life,
She's in a hard position. I mean, she was brought in to take over a company that was sinking fast by the sounds of it. I mean, 64 cents for every dollar spent is, I mean, disgusting. I mean, that's like, as soon as you hit 50, you're probably dead at that point. And it's like, well, what are the decisions we can make? And I'm sure there was many meetings and discussions that happened before you reach this point. But I do think that ultimately, this sounds like the best case scenario. I mean, like, to Ash's point, like the company, like Double Fine and whatever else, is still the fact that they're still getting to live on in some regard. Most of these companies are being allowed to, either buy themselves out by the sounds of it, or put themselves up for, like, Xbox is at least allowing some of them to be go to shop to be brought out potentially by other people, instead of just solely looking for the quickest way to cut and rise that the dollar figure, get some money back at ASAP. So yeah, it's just, again, similar to the physical media thing and whatever else we've been talking about. The industry is in a shaky state. And she says in the post about the most terrible place the industry has been in hardware wise, which is true because of AI and GPUs and RAM, whatever.
Because of her old job, yeah.
I was going to say partly her fault.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it's just, you pair that with how bad of a state it's been in from a production pipeline way, whatever, the other stuff we're talking about, like the cost and time spent to see a return by any company, and what have you. So there's just a lot of factors within the video industry that are particularly hot right now. Triple A industry, I'd say.
Yeah,
the problem is
the
that
thing.
Yeah,
I think we are going to see a regression in the number of AAA games we're going to get in the next few years, which may be good in the overall scheme of things, because a lot of the studios that have made AAA games are shutting down or getting smaller, or they're just taking longer to make, unfortunately. So,
yeah. Which is funnier because the exact thing that players complain about, where it's like, oh, I don't want to buy that game because that game is X amount of money and it's only going to be a 10-hour game, and I don't think that's worth it. But it's like, that's what it's going to be. Games are going to get shorter, but the price isn't going to drop.
Yeah.
Like
you're gonna be paying $30 for a 6-hour game, and
Or maybe they're just not going to be as graphically realistic as they used to be.
If it's a really good game, then I think we just need to, because those, The Last of Us Part 2, what have you, the quality of those and the cost and the risk factor and not seeing a return just has the industry in a tumultuous state.
Yep.
Yeah. Paired with this Xbox news, so this other story from Eurogamer. It's after Xbox pulling out a publishing and funding deal for Project Fantasy, IO Interactive's next game, the developer has regained full control and IP and funding. This, however, means it's readjusting its business to accommodate the ambitious RPG as well as future projects. Quote, following the end of our external finance partnership of Project Fantasy, IOI has regained full ownership of the project and our IP. The company's official Twitter account shared on 7th of July. We'll continue to develop and fund it independently amongst our other projects. To find a new balance for long-term future of the studio, it's been announced IO Interactive will focus on the success of internal core titles instead of external projects and mobile game derivatives. While the studio's hugely successful last game, 007 First Light, isn't explicitly mentioned, this message casts a shadow of doubt over a potential follow-up and partnerships with Amazon MGM Studios. With Xbox funding vanished and renewed focus on internal IPs, IOI Interactive is announcing it's making changes, closing its Istanbul studio and, quote, starting a process to part ways with colleagues who have been a meaningful part of what makes IOI what it is, end quote. The number of workers affected by these cutoffs hasn't been revealed at the time of writing, though the studio already shared similar words regarding staff cuts last week when it was revealed the RPG's partnership was coming to an end. A return to quote-unquote core titles heavily suggests Agent 47's next game might be coming sooner rather than later. What do we think of this? Because Xbox pulled the funding from them. They've got the game back. They can still keep working on it, but they've lost obviously a partnership and the funding from Xbox as they've done that. This is now leading them to have to cut some staff because ultimately they no longer have the money to sustain a larger team that they were going to work with. But then, the messaging of their posts and the way it reads about staying away from the external partners and such doesn't exactly read positively about the potential future of 007. What do you think, Kieran?
I think, sadly, I think, sadly, because Amazon announced directly after its release that they wanted to work on 007 internally anyway. So I don't see them. I think IO already knew this, sadly, after the purchase of the 007 licensing and everything. I think it sucks. I don't think we're going to see another. I think the next 007 game, sadly, is most likely going to flop. But I think the next Agent 47 Hitman game is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take all their learnings from 007 and put it into a Hitman game, and it's going to be awesome.
It's crazy. They make a new IP where it's sort of like a character that looks similar to James Bond, but it's not James Bond, and there's a spy, and this could be crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Old Rick Pond over there, Any comments, Ash?
No, I mean, it's disappointing. Hopefully we do get to see Project Fantasy one day, but I guess them insulating themselves, isn't the worst thing for them. So much of the gaming industry is built on trust, so it's and relying on deals to come through and that kind of stuff and funding and that kind of thing. So, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Indeed. All right, let's talk about some games. Kieran can talk about Assassin's Creed in a minute, but I will just go over. I've been playing two things on Switch. I've nearly finished Star Fox Nintendo Switch 2 version, which doesn't really have a name. It's just called Star Fox. It's good fun. I mean, it's literally, I know this is the whole thing of this game. It's like, the third time, fourth time, what have we decided that Star Fox has been released.
So which versions of Star Fox have you played before?
I've only played the 64 version.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a huge, obviously it looks huge jump. And I didn't enjoy playing the 64 version. I never had fun. I didn't like. I don't have. We've talked about it before. I didn't grow up with 64. I never played it at my friend's place. They were like, "Man, this Star Fox game is a lot of fun." I tried to play it. I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. I hate this controller." Like, like I never. What do you mean? The controller's great. No, not to me.
Nope.
Yep. So,
where is my hand supposed to sit? What is this weird thing over
everyone's
here?
holding it. It's like literally like looking at an alien holding a controller and being like, "This is normal. That's great." And I'm like, I don't get it, bro.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I've nearly finished it. I mean, obviously it's not a particularly long game, but I'm enjoying the simplicity of it because it's just the core gameplay. I like the I can't remember the official name off the top of my head, but the times the game goes into like let you off the rails basically instead of doing the on rail mission and stuff. You get into like these sort of open areas and you're actually flying around doing more proper, I don't know, dog fighting and barrel rolls and U-turns and stuff, but you're flying around in these more open areas. They're a bit of fun and change things up. They happen sometimes at the start level. Sometimes you'll fly through one of the main levels from the original game, and then when you reach the end, it'll sort of change things up and open up into this open area thing for the boss fight or something. So that's fun, and graphically it looks really, really good. Plays really well. And I decided, as much as we had this conversation around how Fox looked better in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, after playing this for a few hours, after a while, I was like, you know what, whatever. It's like, that's the movie looking version. This character model does look more in line with the original illustrations and stuff, and I'm fine. The characters are all fun. I'm having a good time. It's a bit of fun. And then I've been playing Rhythm Paradise Groove, which I don't know if anyone remembers seeing or what's in a trailer from this. It's like a really popular. Well, I didn't know about this until it was announced because they had to do the Googling. But they announced this game. It was a really weird trailer. Where it was like a little weirdly drawn character on screen, and then announcing it. And I was like, why does anyone care about this? But then I look it up, and it's like it was a really popular DS series. I think is what it was. That they haven't had an entry in for like 10 years. It's fun. It's fucking weird as hell. But it's a lot of fun. But the whole game is a bunch of mini games built around either one or two buttons presses entirely, and the different things that you're doing in said mini games that are rhythm based. So they can be, off the top of my head, there's one where frogs will jump across some lily pads and then land on one, and you have to press A at the right time to blast them up into the air. You have to do that. There's another one where you're cooking. You're this mother cooking in the kitchen, and then she's like humming, and then you got, at the right beats, these fucking fruits come flying from left and right, and you got to tap A at the right time, so she grabs the tomatoes and slices them up and stuff like that. There's another one where you're playing as a character who is like Olympic shit jumping over the, what are those things called? Things they jump over. Hurdle. Thank you. They're jumping over the hurdles and then sliding under the hurdles. So you either got to press A at the right time to jump over them or down to slide under them. And there's another one where you're playing as a car who's there's two. You're in the middle of three cars, and then the car behind you. Well, it's got its own little trigger where it's like makes these certain noises, and that means it's about to speed up, and you press A at the right time to speed up, so you don't hit the cars. And then the one at the front at the right time, you have to press down to the controller to slam your brakes on, because it's going to slam its brakes on. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't say hard, but like quite often, every single mini game you get into, it does a tutorial for, even though the buttons are always the same. But it has to give you the tutorial because for each different mini game, you've got to learn the rhythm of that particular game. Like, what is the noise or that you're listening for, or what is the thing you're counting for? I mean, there was one where a lot of them run on a 1, 2, 3, go, 1, 2, 3, go sort of system, but a lot of them don't, or change it up. I mean, there's one where you play as a dog who's trying to catch a frisbee. But it's like there's a woman at the far end, and she's throwing the frisbee, and her thing is she whistles like does a dog whistle, and then you have 7 then you got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on 7 press A to jump in the air. So every different mini game you have to learn to do the rhythm. It's very quirky. The art style's wild. You do all the tutorial stuff, and then when you do the actual proper level, which if you fail, you have to unlock more mini games, you have to at least get a passing rank on the mini game. I forgot where I was going, to be honest, but they can be challenging at times. I don't say like super frustrating challenging, but you got to just relearn them. And then at the end of each line of, is it 4 or 5 mini games, there's like let's call it a boss level. I don't know. They just call it like a remix level, where it remixes all of the mini games in that line that you just learned into one level. So it's like you'll be like, you'll be doing the dog thing, or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You press A, jumps up, and it switches to one of the other mini games. And you got to remember the rhythm of that one. And it switches back to the other one. You got to like relearn all the rhythm in one go. Yeah, I'm having a good time. It's wacky as hell. But also, I appreciate Nintendo games sometimes when Nintendo games have weird shit. Like very, I'm playing this and going, this is Japanese as hell. This is just, just odd shit. But it's a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what I've been playing on my Nintendo Switch 2 lately. Kieran, tell me about Black Flag Resynced and why I should care in a world where I already played it and loved it and don't feel any need to play it again.
Well, if you don't feel, there's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind on that, and I don't think it is. I just think it's of course it's good and nostalgia. I think for many people this is probably the height of Assassin's Creed. Between this or Assassin's Creed 2, this remake, it's a well-made remake. The game looks fucking spectacular. Like, probably is traditional to say that in a 2026 game, but like the game looks amazing. Diving under the water, exploring the different islands, the different maps, the different terrains, breathtaking. So often it's breathtaking, and you'll find yourself looking out of vistas and enjoying the world that Ed Kenway lives in to be spectacular. The game has
my PS4 game, by the way.
What was that?
My first PS4 game. That was the game I played when I first booted up my PS4. Was Black Flag.
Would make sense. Yeah, it's well done. The AI is still dumb as dog shit, which is probably my only negative for the game. But like the combat feels good. The story feels even better. They've added more content, more characters. They've improved the boat combat. So the boat combat, you actually kind of want to engage with it even more. And I think a lot of people vied with the boat combat as it was.
But they should spin it off into its own game.
No. They took the time of investing in Skull and Bones to make this game better. So there's so much to it. There feels like there's so much more in the game to do and explore. One of the weird things they've done is because they've cut out majority of the modern day stuff. That modern day storyline is no longer part of the game, but they've still left in like the cuts where it would like take you out of the game. So like you'll play the introduction and then it'll fade to black and then fade back into the next section. And you would have thought with a full remake like this is to kind of merge that a little better, or to not make that feel like it is stunted or anything like that. So
it's just because I guess that it's like when you go out and then when you resync, it's like it jumps like Edward would be.
It does,
different.
yeah,
100%.
Like,
yeah.
It jumps weirdly. So it feels like they could naturally have kind of massaged that together a little bit better. But the game's full of things to do. There's plenty to explore. I think this has come out at a perfect time. There is not that much to be doing currently in July. So if it is if you really loved the game originally and you want to play it, sure. If you're wanting to crave if you love a pirate game, this is a fantastic pirate game. There is very minimal Assassin's Creed-ness about the story of Black Flag that you need to worry or care about realistically. Because a lot of in the original version of the game, a lot of the Assassin's Creed stuff came from the modern day version of the game. So if you just want if you never played an Assassin's Creed, but you want a great pirate game with a great protagonist and great side characters, this is it. This is the game to do it in.
And they've removed the most frustrating element about the original game, which was the fail states in the stealth
missions. Yep, 100%. Yep.
Hoorah. No, I mean, it looks really good. All the reviews have been positive and everything, and I really love Black Flag, but I'm just like, all these things are improved, but like, I've already put up with the bullshit. You know, like, did you ever play it to completion, the original one?
I didn't play to completion. I played like a good portion. I think I put a good 10 to 15 hours into that game. I'm just sailing around and doing stuff.
I've spent like, I don't know, let's say 50 hours getting the platinum or some shit. So I'm like, I understand it plays better and all this stuff. But I'm like,
100%, but you don't need to go back and do it. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Sounds like it's a really good way to play for people who are like, I missed out on playing this game that everyone loves.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a good way to get back into it, I guess.
Definitely.
All right, that will do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns about anything we've watched on the show in the Instagram short comment section, because that's what we'll read on the show. And let us know something you'd like us to discuss this week by heading to explosionnetwork.com/follow, where you can find our social links, including Instagram and TikTok pages where you can yell at Kieran. And if you'd like to support the show and support the podcast and or Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. We'll see you here next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.